What's up, guys? Gopher Rider. My dad, in view of some issues and problems that has come about because of health issues and age, and we all go through it and everything in the family stuff, I made mention that I was going to try and start some type of vlog memory thing or whatever for him. So I said that I'd call it either Dad Remembers or Bobby's World or whatever, and I thought, well, if I do those two separate things, I know what I could do. One about the animals that he's been taking care of. I mean, he was an avid hunter for many, many, many years, but with the Parkinson's and other things that are going on, he's probably not going to be able to do that again. But at the same time, hunting, he's been taking care of animals, small critters and stuff forever. Squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, deer, pheasant, whatever, for years and years and years and years and years, and now he's basically taking care of them now. So instead of hunting him, he's taking care of him. But he's been doing this at the same time he was hunting and everything for the last, ever since I can remember. We moved into this area in '72. And ever since then, he's pretty much taken care of every critter here. Mom's the only woman that I know. Hopefully, I think it's all the Indian blood in her, but she can walk out here and pick up a wild rabbit. And none of the rest of us can get even close to him. She'll just walk right up, reach down, pick him up, and they come to him. Matter of fact, there's one right over there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but he's over there by the walnut tree, waiting for me to get out of the way. I'm here at the as you can see, I'm here at the squirrel crossing. This is where Dad puts out feed. He's got several different little stations around the area here. He puts out between here and T's house. He feeds all the animals and critters and stuff like that, and we get an array. He'll get up. He goes to bed usually at 5:30, 6 o'clock, but he's up at 4 o'clock every morning to milk the chickens and feed the cows. Yeah, I said that right. It's my dad. And then from that time on, he's non-stop, non-going, putting food out to all the little stations and everything, checking on them. He'll be up and down all night long, checking and looking out the windows and stuff like that. I'm going to figure out a way to set up a security system for him. We have one on the house, and I have one on the shop and all that stuff. Set up a security system for him so he can watch all these critters and stuff all night long, like he likes to. He likes to get up and, you know, he's peering out the window for 45 minutes and then he goes back to bed, and I'm going to fix it so he just can lay in bed, roll over and flip it and see everything. Anyway, this is going to be the start. Boy, I'm long-winded, aren't I? This is going to be the start of the series, and I think I'm going to combine the two. Instead of having animals and or look, rabbit's going. There's one over here, and then there's one over there. They're chasing each other around. There's a little teeny bunny around here someplace. They don't, a lot of the rabbits don't reach maturity because of the animals, the cats that we have. Lots of feral cats in the area. But anyway, I'm going to try and combine the two and put Dad Remembers and Bobby's World all together. Bobby's World would be like the animal stuff, and Dad Remembers would be things about the farm, cars, automobile, hunting stories, things to help his mind try and remember and keep the brain active the best we can. We give him all kinds of word puzzles and other exercises and stuff. The shaking's getting really bad, but we're going to try and keep what little bit of his brain's left alive, and we're going to try and do that. So anyway, if y'all don't like things like that, and you aren't like me, and you don't like to watch paint grow or grass grow, paint dry and grass grow, then you probably won't like this series. But if you like to hear stories of an old codger, you watch my channel, you must like some of it, of an old codger and things going on, and us just trying to document Dad's life and existence a little bit in history for him. Trying to save the cars. I want to try and save this for nephews, nieces, and cousins and so forth, and people in the family that may not get a chance to really enjoy my dad like we have, all the stories and everything. So yeah, boy, I'm stretching this out. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and that's the beginning of this series. Like I said, if you bore easily, you probably should click to something else. But I'm going to get in and start some other job. I'm sure there's something for me to do in there. Somebody's got something they need done. And that's what this series will be about, and it'll be up and coming, and it's probably going to be called Bobby's World / Dad Remembers. So here's a little bit of taste of it. See ya. You got your own, you're going to have your own YouTube channel.
No, I don't want in.
All right. So, what's your name?
Bobby Sparks,
There you go. Where were you born?
South Solon, Ohio.
All right. Did you ever spend any time to be raised in Kentucky, or just all the family came from Kentucky?
Just all the family came from Kentucky.
Yeah. What is your earliest memory of the first farm that you can remember living on? You guys never did live in towns or anything, right? You always
No.
lived on the farms?
Always on the farm.
What's your earliest memory of the first farm you can remember, or how old do you think you were? So anyway, the other camera died, so we have to use this one. So can you tell me what you remember about the first farm, as young as far back as you can remember, the first farm that you worked on?
First
Or
farm I
lived
was
at.
born on.
Well, you were born, okay, yeah.
The one I was born on.
Mhm.
Well, the first thing I remember and stuff, we had a real long lane back to the house. And they was,
Where was it? This was in Ohio?
This was in South Solon. That's just out of London. And that's where I was born at, and I lived there until I was probably 5 years old anyhow.
And how many other kids were there than you at that time?
Well, there was Alma, Taj, Opal, Viv, and me, and then Barb. She was 14 months younger than me.
And then
She was born there too.
And that was the last of the children that was born there.
That was the last of the children.
But you've
born
got
there.
other siblings.
And Mary and Ann and Mary was born up at Milford Irwin there, just out of Milford Center.
Yeah.
And
Was it just farming there at that farm, or did you have dairy, or did you have chickens, animals,
hogs,
and stuff?
had hogs.
Okay, so you guys raised hogs for a while.
Well, Daddy worked on the farm. He was Elmer Games was a farmer that Daddy worked for, and he was just a farm laborer. He didn't own anything or anything like that.
Now, the land that you lived on, that was somebody else's land that you were.
That was.
Did they call it sharecropping then, or
no,
what was it?
He was just a hired hand.
All right, but they let him live on that land.
He lived there on the farm.
Yeah.
And he just he paid paid $25, $35 a week, and that's how.
And you guys got to raise your own animals there too while you were there.
Yeah, we raised chickens.
And the hog, but you were tending the hogs.
Yeah, the farmer had he had the hogs, and Daddy just took care of hogs and stuff. That's why Daddy he never had too much to do with cattle, beef cattle a little bit, but no dairy. He never. All he had was just one milk cow, and he had the farm and stuff.
Did you go out and milk the cow there at that time?
No, I was too little. Because and then we left there and went to Clariacais, and
how old were you then? About 6 or so?
Well, I was 7. I was 7 because that's where I went to the first grade school at. But we went there about 2 or 3 years before that. So I was probably 5 and a half, 6 years old.
Was it a one-room? One-room schoolhouse?
No, it was they had our different had first grade in one room like they do now, and then all had the second grade when I come up to Mechanicsburg and went to school the second grade there at Mechanicsburg. And then we lived in a yellow house that Frank Miller rented off of John Evans that we lived in that year. And then the next year,
well, at the first place, the first farm, you remember, what did you have chores? You had chores there and stuff, right?
no, just a few chickens to feed is all.
Yeah.
And
Who was doing the majority of the stuff on the farm? Was that
oh,
Taj?
Daddy.
What was Taj doing?
Well, Taj, he would go after we left Clarikai or Elmer Games. We went to Clarikai. Then Taj, he'd go out and do work for run the tractor and stuff, do farm work.
Did he ever plow with the mules or horses and stuff?
No, they had a tractor that he done the most of the. Daddy was the one that run the team of horses. Now, Taj and I would go out in the wintertime and take a mud boat, what they call a mud boat. It was just a flat sled, and hook old Barney up to it.
Mule or horse?
Horse.
Horse.
Yeah, big mare. And that was Doc's
Barney
mother.
the mare.
Barney the mare. And Doc, he was the stallion. He was the big stallion, that her son.
Yeah.
And Daddy always worked them two together.
Now, I know Papa Arnold pulled plows with horses and stuff and teams.
Yeah, he had, yeah. But majority of the time they had tractors and stuff to farm on.
Was it Moline, the old John Deere, or what was it?
The one that Taj run there, I think, was an Alice Chalmer.
Mm-hmm.
And or Alice Chalmer or an Oliver. And then after they moved to up at Frank Miller's, he had Minneapolis Moline and John Deere and F-20 Farmalls.
Did they have any of the propane ones there?
No. That was after Frank left the farm, and Daddy went to work for Johnny Weibel, and Johnny Weibel had a Minneapolis U propane, or UB. It was a UB propane job.
Yeah. Did you guys do
I
any?
run that one quite a bit.
Did you guys? Didn't you guys farm out to other people, work for other people and their properties and stuff?
No. Well, Daddy did back years and years before I was born and stuff. Yeah, him and Grandpa Segrays and some of my uncles would go out and cut corn and stuff, shop corn and stuff for Grandpa Segrays would work with Daddy.
That was your farm hands, though. I mean, the more kids you had, the more farm hands you had. I mean, that was the whole.
Well, that was what it was supposed to be, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I know when Papa used to tell us, he used to tell us the stories and stuff. He would tell us about how many. Now, do you remember how many kids Papa had? I mean, in Papa's family.
Grandpa Segrays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was Paul, and then there's Hurst, and that was Grandpa's, and then he had two girls. That wasn't with Grandma. That was before his wife passed away before. And then there was Mom and Harold and Al and Bill and Thurman.
Mama's name was Marie, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mom's name was Marie, and they met Daddy at down around Arnton, Ohio, and Daddy was helping thrash on the farm that Grandma and them was living at, and
he saw her there.
Yeah, Daddy come in there for dinner one day, and they was all out in the yard out there, and Grandma was fixing all of them dinner, and Grandma Seagraves said, Marie, come over here. Mom said, what do you want? She said, come over here a minute. Look out here. She looked out there, and Daddy was 19 years old, and he was out there with the thrashing people, helping thrash. And Grandma says, Marie says, see that man out, see that boy out there? And he said, yeah. Said, that's your husband.
That was Mama Seagraves?
That Grandma Seagraves.
Oh,
said,
my goodness.
That's your husband.
Grandma Seagraves was matchmaking.
And ended up, that's what they
now Grandma Seagraves ended up spending her last days there with Arnold. Right? They lived there in the trailer or in the house on Cherry Street.
Yeah.
At the end, yeah.
We built Taj and built a house, and then took a 2-car garage and put a 3-room apartment in there for Grandma to live in. That she lived the rest of her time in there.
Yeah. So, Mama Seagraves ended up picking your mom's and your father.
And my father.
Ended up making them together.
Yeah.
So, well, that's a pretty good place. I'm going to stop here, and we're going to go on to look at some of your menagerie that you take care of here at the Sparks Ranch.
Yeah.
And we're going to go and do that. So this is a good portion to start, and we'll go from there. So let's go look at some critters.
What's that?
Cracked corn.
Cracked corn?
Yeah.
And you put peanuts out in the center yard?
Yeah, I'll put a few peanuts here then.